Okay, so this time we're going to look at the same problem that we did before, but this time we're going to have a positive coefficient. And we're going to see that it's not going to change because here we have 3 to the 4th power. Remember, we take this to the power first. So now we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then we have x squared, and that's to the 4th power. Remember, this term is 4 times. So we're going to take x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. Remember, I'm writing this out to show you how to do it, but you don't have to write it out like this, okay? So now we have 3 times 3, which is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81, right? So we get 81x to the 2, 4, 6, 8, right? And that's our answer. So, before our coefficient was a -3, and because you took it 4 times, it still became positive 81. So it didn't change at all. Okay, I hope that made sense. So remember, powers to powers, we multiply. So if we were to do this the very fast way, we would say, well, 3 to the 4th power is 81. And then we just multiply those exponents. That would be x to the 8th. That's the fast way. And that's really how you should be doing it, but I want you to make sure you understand why. Okay, so let's look at a harder one here. And it's actually not really hard, but if we take it step by step, it's not hard. So we're gonna look at this, and we're gonna think of a 2-story house when we're doing this problem. So we're gonna start very carefully. We're gonna start at the top with our numerator. We're gonna take 3 squared. So we know 3 to the 2nd power is going to be 9, right? Easy. Now we're going to take x to the -3 and we're going to multiply. Remember, powers to powers, we multiply. So this is going to be x to the -6, right? Okay, easy. Then we're going to take y to the 4th and we're going to multiply power to power. We get y to the 8th, right? Okay, all we're doing right now is we're just simplifying. So now we're going to go downstairs to our denominator and we're going to take our -3 and we're going to multiply it to our 3. So 3 to the -3rd power is going to be -3 times -3 times -3. Well, -3 times -3 becomes positive 9 times -3 was a -27, right? So now we're going to get -27 on the bottom. Now we're going to take x, and that's to the 1st power. So x to the -3. And then this is going to be y to the -30th. Okay. Well, it's not simplified, and this is why. So again, we're going to think of it like a 2-story house. And whenever you have a negative exponent on either floor, it has to go to the other floor to become positive. So we're going to either kick it down or push it up. So let's look at here. Okay, so first let's look at, and so I'm just going to show that we have equals here. So we got this, and I'm just going to get rid of this so it's not in our way. Okay, so we're going to come down here and we're going to look here. So now we have our 9 that's staying on the floor. It's positive. Now this x to the -6, remember it's negative, so we're going to kick it down. It's going to go downstairs. Okay, the y to the 8th is positive, so we're going to keep it upstairs. It's not going to change. Now, we fixed our top. We're done with the top. We're done with the top floor. Now let's go to the bottom floor. Well, we have a -27. We can't keep it there. We have to push it up. So now we're going to multiply this by 27. Now we have a -3 down here. We can't have that. We have to push it upstairs. So now it's going to become +3 on the top, right? This is a -30. We can't have it down there. We have to push it up. So now we have over here. So we just simplified, but we're not done yet because we still can simplify. Now we have 9 times 27. So we know 27 times 9 is 243, right? So now on the top we have 243. Now we're just gonna we're gonna start with x first because x comes before y. So we have x to the 3rd over y to the 38th, right? But on the bottom, we still have x to the 6th. Well, remember, we're just gonna look at, this is not gonna change, but we're just gonna look at our powers here. Now we have 3 and we have a 6 on the bottom. Remember, you're going to subtract your exponents. So here we're going to say, okay, well, we have x3 minus, right, 6. Well, we know that's going to become, and that's going to become x to the negative 3, which comes on top. So now we're going to get 243 x to the negative 3rd over y to the 38th. So all we did was we subtracted these exponents. We said 3 minus 6, and we got negative 3, and that was on the top. Well, we can't have a negative on the top, right? We have to kick it down. We have to have positive exponents. So now what's going to happen is this 243 is going to stay on the top. The y to the 38th is going to stay here because they're all positive. We're going to kick this downstairs, and this is going to become our answer. So you see how when we took it step by step, I will go back and pause that video and think about what I just said. But remember, again, if anything is negative on either floor, you have to either kick it down or push it up to make it positive. So I hope that that helped. One quick thing before I let you go, just a quick review. All right, again, if you had like x to the 3rd over x to the 6th, well, if we were to write this out, x times x times x, and then this is x times x times x times x times x times x 6 times, right? Then those cancel. This all cancels, right? We get 1 over x to the 3rd power. But if you were just to solve this by yourself, well, you would know that the x is going to stay the same. And then 3 minus 6 becomes negative 3. Well, remember, negative 3, x to the negative 3 power can't stay that way. Remember, you flip it, so flip it. All right, and it becomes 1 over x to the 3rd. Always flip your exponents if they're negative, okay? And then one last rule that we have to make sure we know is that anything to the 0 power is just 1. That is really important. Anything to the 0 power is just 1. But if you're anything like me, and I know some of you are, you want to know why that's true. So let's think about that for a second. Let's say we had x to the 3rd power divided by x to the 3rd power. Well, if we looked at our power rules, we know this would become x, and then 3 minus 3 will be x to the 0 power, which equals, well, which means there is nothing there. X to the 0 power is nothing. So there is no x now. But remember, in front of our variable, we have a 1 and a 1. 1 divided by 1 just becomes 1. So that's why the answer just becomes 1. So anything to the 0 power just actually equals 1. So just remember that. I hope that that really helps, and I think that's going to definitely help us when we start graphing our exponential functions. Take care. Bye.